There's this problem of not being able to express your thoughts, your feelings in English accurately and confidently. And that is what we are going to deal with in today's video. Now, I have some amazing ideas for you, and I promise you that if you listen to me carefully like a good student, you'll be able to overcome this fear, this problem, this trauma of not being able to express properly in English. But of course, you'll have to promise some effort in exchange. Okay? The first thing that I have to mention before I take a dive into the video is that the level of comfort that you feel in your native language, your regional language, the language that your parents speak, that level of comfort will never come in any other language that you learn, okay? But yes, you can get very good at it. And that is something that I promise you. Now, the first thing that I want to bring your attention to is that if you are bad at something right now, there is a tremendous scope of improvement in there, and you can improve. And that is the kind of positivity and good attitude and mindset that I want you to carry in you while you're looking at this video and while you start to practice your ideas, the ideas that I'm gonna plant in your head today. What are the reasons behind this issue that you're not being able to express yourself properly in English? First thing, this is not your native language, and you can never get as comfortable as you are in your native language with any other language, as I just told you a little while ago. Other thing is that there is a huge gap in your practice. You don't practice enough, right? There is a lack of confidence that comes out of this issue of not being able to practice much, right? So lack of practice leads to lack of confidence. And then there are restrictions with vocabulary, grammar, and you're overall underconfident in this language, because of which it is a trauma to explain yourself in English to anybody. Now, what is that first thing that you could start doing? Let's talk about that. Role playing. Let me give you an example. By role playing, I mean that you could actually practice scenarios in your head, and you can do this sitting alone. You don't need somebody to do it with you, okay? You could do it very well all by yourself. Just assume that maybe, let's take a scenario here. You are ordering food from a restaurant on a phone, okay? And how would you talk? And what would be the responses of the other person talking to you on the phone? And that is what I want you to rehearse in your head. And I want you to talk aloud while you're doing that. It is better that you don't do it in your head. You talk aloud. You talk out loud. You say those words out loud so that you can hear yourself. Okay? So if I were to do it, how would I do it? Hey, hi, is this XYZ restaurant? Yes, madam, it is. How may I help you today? Can I order a paneer tikka, please? Yeah, sure. Let me take your order. How long will this take? It will take around an hour to deliver, ma'am. Oh, thank you very much. And please keep it a little spicy. Can you do that? Yes, sure, we can. Thank you for letting us know. All right. Thank you then. Bye-bye. Have a good day, madam. Take care. See? That was my conversation with myself. Now, you don't have to do this while practicing, okay? That is me doing it for you, all right? That is role playing. So assume a role or assume two roles and start talking to yourself in that role. Take a character, take two characters and start talking, okay? Play both parts one by one. Let's move to point number 2. Point number 2 is start thinking in English. Now, this is something that we were told in school. If you want to be fluent in English, you have to start thinking in English. Because if you think in your native language and then you translate before you speak, it gets very difficult because it creates a gap. You're thinking, you're translating in English, and then you're speaking. It's a whole lot of process. And your mind takes a lot of time to process all this information. So let's cut down on the time that we take on translation. Let's think in English and speak in English. And that is actually what you have to train yourself on if you want to be fluent in English. There is no other way. You can't keep thinking in any other language and keep translating on the way and speak, because that will totally kill your fluency in the language and will take away a lot of your confidence. You will never be able to feel comfortable in the language. Just accept English as your own, okay? Think of English as just a language, not a status symbol. Take it light, take it easy, and day by day practice a little and you will get better at it, okay? So if I have to think about my dress, maybe something like, instead of thinking in my native language, which is Hindi, कि यार इसका print मुझे बहुत पसंद है, instead of thinking that, I would think, oh, I love the print of this dress. The print is really nice, it really suits me. So it's not that difficult, that's the point, okay? Let's move to point number 3. Next point is journaling. You could start journaling. What do I mean by journaling? I mean writing a diary. So the problem is expression. Your expression in a certain language, which is English here, right? You want to express more. You want to express more vividly. How do you do that? You do that by first trying to practice by expressing your thoughts on a diary. Start writing about how you feel. Any thought, any experience that you would want to share with yourself in your own words. Okay? Then maybe something like whatever happened in the day or whatever conversation you happen to have with a friend or a teacher or a mentor, anybody. So just start writing in a journal. I have many journals. I have had this habit of writing my thoughts for, I don't know, some decades now. It's not a new habit. I've been doing it for a very long time. YouTube channel also is a product of that because I've been habitual of writing my thoughts. I almost write all my content for my videos first in a diary, and then and that goes for the short videos also, not just the long videos. I first write it on a diary and then I convert it into a video by talking on the camera about the thoughts that I've expressed in my diary already. So that's how I do my stuff. It's very helpful. It helps you open up to yourself. It helps you give windows to your own soul. And I don't want to sound a lot poetic here. I really mean it. When you write and when you develop a habit of writing, you actually gain insight into who you are. You find out more about yourself because sometimes you're confused about a few things and you're unable to find answers. But when you write those things down, somehow the layers of your mind open up to it and it presents you with solutions. And it will happen with you. You try it for yourself and tell me if it works with you that way or not. Let's move to point number 4. You can practice English phrases and idioms. I have made a lot of videos on this topic. You can watch those videos. You could maybe buy a book because there are many books available on this topic. Just day-to-day phrases, just day-to-day idioms, the regular idioms, something like, hitting 2 birds with a stone. I mean, that kind of a small phrase would work for you. Such things add natural flow to your conversations. It just gets easier to express. It just gets easier to get across your idea when you use an idiom. Just like muhavre in Hindi. जब आप मुहावरा use करते हो, when you use a muhavra in Hindi, muhavra, I think most of you will understand. This is Hindi for idioms. So when you use a muhavra in Hindi, your thought, a huge, long, a very detailed thought can be expressed in just a short sentence. And that is what idioms do for you. So it's as simple as that. Just start practicing. Just maybe sit with a list of idioms and start rehearsing to speak them more often. Start rehearsing them. Maybe learn one and you could use it in 4 or 5 sentences and then use it in the day, sometime during the day, to a friend, your family, or somebody you're comfortable with. And that way you get to learn and it becomes a part of your vocabulary. Your vocabulary expands day by day. Though I'm not really a fan of forcefully practicing idioms and words to improve your vocabulary, I'm more of a person who would say that expose yourself to more of an English environment. Expose and create an environment of English around yourself to improve your English. But it's all right sometimes to forcefully learn a few words. It's okay. I mean, there's no hard and fast rule for it, right? I mean, who am I to tell you this is right, this is wrong? You make your own ways. You find out your own ways of doing something better for yourself. Okay, let's move to next point. Next point is seek professional help. You can actually learn from an English tutor, somebody who's certified English teacher. And that is a way a lot of these Bollywood actors and cricketers learn English. They pay to learn English, and there's no harm in paying for something that has the capacity of improving your life manifold. So yes, it's okay to spend a little on your learning. I've always proposed this idea. I've always been a pro to it that you should do this. If you really want to improve your English, there's no harm in spending a couple of bucks on learning the language, on a teacher, a person who has the capability to teach you. Okay, let's move to next point. Next point is do not fear making mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. There are people who avoid making mistakes to an extent that they are unable to speak at all. And that is something that you must avoid at any cost. It's okay to make mistakes. That's how you learn. That's how I have learned. I used to make a lot of mistakes earlier. Even now I make mistakes. There's no shame in accepting that none of us are perfect. And that is exactly something that you lack maybe. You are trying to be perfect and you're trying it so hard that you're unable to practice at all. And that is something that you'll have to take care of. You need to curb that thinking in your head that मेरे से गलती नहीं हो सकती, सबसे हो सकती है, आपसे क्यों नहीं हो सकती. One last thing on the list is speak more. You must speak more. Just reading English, writing English, listening to English, watching TV shows in English is not going to help you. The thing that is most going to help you is speaking, actually doing the thing that you want to learn the most, and that is spoken English. You want to speak English fluently. So practice that more instead of focusing on the other things that you've been. So the point is, don't beat around the bush. Directly focus on what's most important, and that is speaking. So that's all in the video actually. I had just these 7 things to tell you, and practicing all of these is going to bring a lot of change in your confidence level. I promise you that. And there's not much to say after this. I've covered everything. So just let me know if there's anything else that I can help you with. This is my Instagram. You can follow this because that's where I make 1-minute videos, too many in English to teach English. And it's helping a lot of people. I'm very glad about it. Thank you very much. I'll see you again soon. Bye.